Hello, and welcome to this special edition of In the Garden with Joyful Living. So today, we did the In the Garden this morning at 9 a.m. and it was wonderful, and I talked with you about taking a leap sometime. But I wanted to come back in for just a minute today and share with you because my friend Tawanda is here with me. Tawanda, tell everybody about yourself.
Oh, that's such a loaded question.
Well, your first time coming to the garden. Tell us about your experience in the garden.
First time coming to the garden. This is the first time seeing the garden, okay? And when I came, I was just like, ah! And so I have been running around the garden and just kind of like, what's this? What's this? How is this? It has just been amazing. Just all of the options that are here and just how beautiful everything is. It's just wonderful. I've seen things that I've never seen before, like is it lima beans?
Those are pinto beans.
Pinto beans in its actual pod, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So like I have been like just going crazy. I'm eating stuff out the garden, and I have structured water here, or water that has some cucumbers in it that come from the garden.
So you use the term that structured water. Tell us about that. What is structured water?
So structured water or gel water is actually have water in them, right? And so when you have vegetables that have water in them, they actually can give you a little bit more hydration and nutrients from just the vegetable itself. So when you add like, let's say, cucumbers to water, extra hydrating for you.
Okay.
So it's actually really good. You also, some people say that structured water can give you, because you can get structured water in a couple different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get it from there's a couple other things that you can do, and it can give you energy, it can help with health issues and all this other stuff, so it does a lot. So this is just one extra way that we're going to stay hydrated sitting out in the wonderful garden today, and we're going to probably eat these afterwards so we can have get a little bit of the fiber that's in that cucumber as well. So
if we're enjoying cucumber water, the cucumber and the rosemary used to infuse the water came right out of the garden here this morning actually. And just based on her answer, Tawanda, it's just not the average bear. That's a phrase that my sister used when we say we're unique bears, we're not the ordinary bear. Tawanda is not the ordinary bear. She is a holistic health practitioner, education specialist.
Yeah, we can play all
that. That is a lot, but tell us exactly what that is.
So I am a holistic health practitioner and wellness educator. So what I do is I actually work with clients that are looking to improve their health, or they have some type of imbalance that they're looking to fix. They want to actually get rid of whatever issue they have. I don't get rid of the issue. What I do is I teach them how to actually improve their health and look at the things in their lifestyle that's causing a lot of the issues. Because when we talk about diseases like high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, and all those things, they're called lifestyle diseases. So that means the things that you're doing in your lifestyle are actually causing the issues that you have. So if we can look and find out what's going on and fix those things, then the body actually innately starts to do what it's supposed to do.
Wow. So guys, I met Tawanda a couple of years ago at a De-Stress the CEO. I was doing meditation at night and she was educating us. And ever since then, every time I have any kind of issue or any of my friends, the first person that I go to is Tawanda because I know she knows. But we're here today.
That's so sweet.
She does know. And so before we go to talk about why you're really here, what is the benefit you think of us growing our own food?
One, you know what's in it. You know what you've put in it. That's like off the bat. Like, okay, I know I haven't put any processed stuff. And we talk about, we hear now about the Roundup and all the, that causes cancer and all these things. You know what you have in your garden. You know what you've put in it. You know what you haven't put in it. So it's so essential. And also it has an added benefit of you doing it actually improves you because you're putting your hands in the soil. Something that I hate to do, I'm not gonna lie, because of the bugs, right? I don't like bugs, but that is actually a great way to get probiotics for you and to like to actually, because it's stimulating. It also helps us and it builds our immune system. So there's so many different benefits that you get from actually working in your own garden.
So honestly, a lot of times I wear gloves, but I intentionally don't put on gloves because I knew there was a benefit to actually having your hands in dirt and actually being barefooted. Depending on what I'm doing out here, I may be barefoot, but sometimes I don't wear gloves just so that I can have It's so relaxing to have your hands in the dirt. Granted, it takes you 12 hours to get all the dirt out from your fingernails when you're done.
Sure.
But I love the experience of doing that.
Yeah. And just the fact of walking around, like we were talking about walking in the grass, out, that helps ground you. So grounding is something that you can do for many different reasons. But have you ever had, like, let's say a breakup? I usually, with my children, when they have breakups, I'm like, go get in the grass for 20 minutes. And I'll have them go and sit in the grass because it actually helps just kind of, from the earth, we get energy from the earth because we're energy, right? So we're made up of energy. So we're actually regrounding and reconnecting to the earth, because when you wear shoes, you're disconnected. So you're disconnected. So even when you fly, you get disconnected from the earth because you're up in the sky. And so
is that why we feel so horrible when we fly?
And so a way to actually not have what is it called?
Jet lag.
Jet lag is to when you get to where you're going, get in the grass and ground yourself, and you actually can prevent the jet lag.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
So we've already discovered in just these few short minutes that you are a wealth, just an encyclopedia of knowledge. So tell us what you have coming up.
I have a book coming out. It is called Breaking My Family's Poor Health Chain. And this is a book that has been a long time coming. Like, I said I was going to write this book about 10 or 15 years ago, and it never happens.
Okay.
Just because writing is hard. Like, it's hard. As I say that to the artist or the author who has, 10 books out.
Thank you. I'm going to take that prophetically.
And but it was hard, and I started it, and I put it down. I started, and I just didn't know what I wanted, like how I wanted to start it. And then I met someone, Laval, who was just amazing, and he was just kind of like, you need to write a book. And I'm like, yeah, no. He's like, I'm telling you, you need to write a book. And I'm like, And then he just made it sound like it was going to be so easy, and I trusted him. And that process was great, and it was tough. But it was really good, and it's just been it allowed me to get out what I wanted to get out, which was breaking my family poor health chain. And we're often taught that a lot of things are hereditary.
Okay, so what's the significance of that break? Because immediately when I saw the book cover, it resonated with me. And I had the opportunity just a few weeks ago, guys, to read the synopsis of the book, and immediately I knew I needed to know more. Needed and had to know more. So tell us the significance of the title of Breaking My Family's Poor Health Chain.
It was what I did. It was what I had to do. And at the time, I didn't realize that it was going to be generational. It was just kind of like, I have to break the cycle of high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, because it was just killing us. And my mother and my grandmother died at 52 and 54.
Wow.
And it was just kind of like, okay, we can't keep going down this road, and we can't keep doing the same things that we're doing and getting the same result, but we want something different, so we have to change it. So breaking my family's poor health chain was just kind of like, that's what I have to do. And I started changing my diet and exercising and doing all this stuff in high school and in college. And it was just kind of like, yeah, I got to break it. If I want me to be different, and I want my children to be different and not have the same issues and struggle with, brain tumors and leg amputations and all that stuff, then you're going to have to break the chain.
Right.
And that's kind of...
When you said generational, it made me think about the fact that we often think about the things that are negative, that are passed down generationally. But you said that you didn't think about your healthy habits were going to be something that was generational. So that just proves to us that the healthy things that we do can become generational if we don't continue to live the lives that we've always lived.
Oh, of course.
So why is it so important that you think this book is out now?
I think it was fitting. Like, we actually were going to bring this out in October, and they're like, no, you got to put this out now, because we're walking around, one, we're afraid, we're scared, and we understand that fear actually lowers your immune system.
Wow.
Right? So fear, stress, they both lower the immune system. Not just exercising or not exercising or, not eating right. You got to look at everything else. And that's what this book talks about. It talks about the 8 essentials that you have to make sure that you're doing in order to have real health. Okay. And the first thing that I do in the book is talk about, are you healthy, and how do you know? Because when
I read that sentence, when I tell y'all it changed my life, if you can read one sentence and it changed your life, I was blown away. There's only been one other time, Tawanda, and this is the honest truth, that I read a book and one sentence changed my life and the way I think. And that was Rick Warren's book, The Purpose Driven Life. And on the first sentence, the first paragraph, it reads, "It's not about you." I dropped the book, and it changed everything about the way I thought about life. But when I read your synopsis and I read that sentence, oh gosh, it changed something in me.
Really?
Literally, figuratively, a light bulb went off. I felt like I had been in the dark and a light bulb went off. So I wanted to really be involved with this project. So tell us, how can we get your book?
So actually on my website, which is realwellnesscorp.com, which is real wellness and then corp.com, there's actually a link that says book, and you can go up there, and we actually have a PayPal, or you can also Cash App?
Okay.
You can do Cash App as well. So it tells you, to select one. You can actually have it mailed to you, or you can actually come by and pick it up when we have the book signing, which is on July 25th. And we have 2 book signings.
Yay!
I know. So we have one in Durham.
We're excited about this.
We are very excited. And guess who is going to be hosting and moderating one of the book signings, the one in Raleigh?
Yes.
So Miss Kimberly will actually be doing that. So we have one in Raleigh and one in Durham. The event that we have in Durham is going to be outside. So for anyone who does not want to be inside a closed space or do not want to wear a mask, I think that would be a great place for you to go, is because you don't have to worry about being confined inside. Okay. But then the one in Raleigh, of course, is going to be cool and a really beautiful event, and you can actually sit down and just kind of enjoy and relax and not have to worry about the sun. So right. And we'll do our social distancing thing and all that stuff.
Right. I love the way that you're doing this, though, because it caters to everybody. Because somebody who has existing health issues may not be able to sit outside.
Exactly.
It's like they may have a low tolerance for heat. Because I know my dad, he's on oxygen. He's not going to sit outside because he can't. But by having the one in Raleigh, it's from 12 to 2 p.m. at Authors and Arts Studio. We will be practicing social distancing, and we have it set up so that if you want to come, you want to get the book, but you don't actually want to stay, then you'll be able to do that. Yeah. Because you need to have this book in your life. So not only that you can change your life, but you can change your family's life, your children's life, your grandchildren, if you want to leave a legacy, this is how you can do it.
Yeah, for sure.
By changing your health.
Exactly.
So you'll be able to come pick the book up, get it signed, and not actually stay for the event if you have existing health issues, right, or just don't feel comfortable in the environment. We want to make this accessible to everybody, because it's far time that the African American community start having access to information that is going to allow us to not only live longer, but live healthier and happier lives. Because you cannot be happy and full of joy if you're in pain, if you're sick, and likely if you're broke, because if you're sick, you're at the doctor's office constantly. That leads to financial implications. So this book that we have here today, Breaking My Family's Poor Health Chain, is not just about your health, it's about setting up a generation of wealth, because you have wealth in your health. You'll have wealth in your finances, and you will have wealth in your family, because you've broken that cycle of poor eating. Yeah. So we're in Raleigh from 12 to 2 on July the 25th at Authors and Arts Studio, which is at 1703 Rock Quarry Road, Suite 103. I'll put the address in the comments, and then at that afternoon we're going to be in Durham. What's the location name?
It's Chapel Hill Boulevard.
Okay.
And it's actually in a shopping center that's close to the Food Lion, so it's actually going to be outside, and there's a beautiful garden that's over there.
It's a beautiful garden.
They have some peach trees and a couple of other things out there.
It's such a lovely spot. It spoke to me immediately, because we were there and she was like, I don't know how we're going to do this. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. So because we're talking about changing our health and our eating habits in our garden. You don't have to do a full-scale garden. You don't have to do what I've done, but it's far time that we start making some changes about how we live and what we're doing on a day-to-day, day in and day out basis that's going to have implications years and years.
Yeah.
And not just on our life, but on the lives of our children, because they do what we do. They don't do what we say do. They do what we do.
Exactly.
So again, tell us how to get the book. Tell us the location, about both book signings.
Okay, so we're going to be in Raleigh at the
Authors and Art Studio.
and then we're going to be in Durham, and that is at the, what is the name of that? Chapel Hill Boulevard. It's going to be by the, and I can't remember the actual address, but I know it's by the Food Line, and we'll make sure that we give you that information on
I'll
various,
put
'cause I can't remember
the location
address.
of both events in the comments. But guys, I want you to make sure that you put this book signing, whether it's in Raleigh, whether it's in Durham, to make sure that your family has this book in your library, because we need this. We need this as a people. And
It's actually a guide. You can use it as a guide. So one of the things that I love about the book is the way it's structured. So in the book, at the end of each chapter, we recap the chapter, and then we have positive action steps that you can take to actually start doing what that chapter is about. And then you also have what we call chain breaking tips that you can actually start to apply. So it's not just read it, it's actually, we want you to do the work, because if you do the work, like you said, you're not gonna be in the hospital and doctor's offices a lot, because you have to start taking care of you. That is the one thing that we have to do, is like, we have to take our health back into our own hands so that we can start to teach our children what we do. And I think I talk about it in the book, is we wait to get sick. And then we go, okay, here, fix me, help me, like, no. We can actually prevent a lot of the stuff that's going on. We can stop it. We can slow down processes. We can do all of that, and just and truly allow ourselves to live a happier, healthier life. Because without your health, you can't go to work. If you lose your job, you can't go get another job. You can't, do a lot of the things that you need to do. And nobody works forever to then get, into their older age and then just be sick and shut in. Like, who wants to do that? Like,
Wow.
why are you working all this time and then go, well, after I do this, then I'm gonna do this? No. You get to take care of yourself now, so that you will be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor, later on. Like, we have it so backwards sometimes.
yeah,
And
I've always found that so disheartening that you read on an obituary somebody, you knew they worked their whole life, and they've only been retired a few years, and now
then
they're
pass
gone.
on. Yeah, and it's just like you, and then think about all the things that we've said we're gonna do later on. Once the kids leave, once this happens, once this happened, and I'm like, no, we gotta invest in ourselves. That's the one thing that we have, is ourselves. And you don't get another one. You can get another car, you can get another house, you can get another anything, but you can't get your health, and your life back once it's gone. The one thing that people ask for is more time, and let's take that time to actually put us first. And the thing that I always say is you have to fall in love with the process of taking care of yourself. Like, you have to fall in love with that process. If you don't love that process, then you're doing something wrong. Like, seriously. Like, nothing else matters. Like, you gotta fall in love with the process of taking care of yourself, and make sure that you're actually doing that, and that you're teaching your children.
I'm gonna use that on a quote next week
Use
on one of my
it.
posts.
Use it.
I'm pulling all kind of nuggets from this.
I'm telling you, it is just like I'm just so grateful that my children have been able to experience the changes that I've made in my life. And someone said, do you know, because my children have never had immunization shots. My children have never had medication. I started them in chiropractic. Like you said, we need to know this information. The reason why I went into holistic is because I felt like we needed to know this. Our community didn't know it. And I was working in all these holistic practices, and I didn't see a lot of meat. Right. And I'm like, how come they're bringing their babies to be adjusted? And, my children were getting adjusted when they were kids. They didn't have any back issues, but we knew it could boost their immune system. And a lot of people were bringing their children in that were Caucasian and other, races, but we weren't. And I'm like, my community doesn't know this. Like, they need to know this information. They need to know that if this is going to improve their health, in any way, like, we need to be doing it.
Right.
And so, like, we now have the information. We just want to get it out to people, that you don't have to be afraid of the flu. Like, I don't want people to be afraid. Like, the flu has been around forever, right? And we're walking around with masks on. And I know, like, this, we walk around with masks on, and OSHA says that we have to have, what is it, like over 19.5, like when you're breathing in air. And when you put a mask on, that goes down. So for all of these people that have health issues, you're now making even more health issues because you're just breathing in carbon dioxide.
Okay.
And people are like, okay, but you're getting air in, you're not getting enough in. You're getting air in, which is why you haven't died, you haven't dropped dead, but are you getting enough in? It's kind of like sitting, in the garage, just sucking in CO2.
Okay.
Because and then I see people running with these masks on. And I'm
Yeah,
not
I wondered
saying,
about that.
Yeah, like you're breathing in a lot more of that, and so you're oxidizing your cells. See, we oxidize our cells just by breathing normally. When you exercise, you oxidize your cells even more. So oxidizing your cells is kind of like, I call it the apple effect. When you cut an apple open and it starts to brown,
Mm-hmm.
it's oxidizing. So if it's oxidizing, if you were to pour lemon juice on it, because of the antioxidants in the lemon juice, it'll stop that process from happening. Well, we're breathing, we're oxidizing our cells. If we're not eating enough fruits and vegetables like we have here, then you can, if you're eating enough, then you stop that process from happening. If you're not, then you're continuously having these oxidized cells which turn into free radicals.
Okay. So, with your book, give us a nugget or something that someone can expect to get from your book.
Ooh, okay, let's see. I talk about a set point. Have you ever heard of set point?
Mm-mm.
So a set point in when you're talking about your weight, or most people are like, I need to lose weight, and then you get to this point where you stop losing weight, and you have to understand what a set point is. A set point is your body is designed and says, okay, you work well at this weight,
Mm-hmm.
right? So whatever that weight is for you, and if you lose 20 pounds, your body's gonna go, wait a minute, like something's going on, like what's wrong, like why am I losing, like I need to start doing things. So your body's gonna make you tired, your body's gonna make you want to eat more, your body's gonna make you want to get back up to do whatever it needs to do to get you back up to that weight. And so we're going, oh my god, I'm at this standstill and I can't lose any more weight. If you stay there and you continue to do what you're doing, then eventually you'll be able to reduce your set point and that number will go down, but you have to wait about 3 to 6 months sometimes.
Wow.
And just keep doing it. What we do is we fall off well
Uh-huh.
before that, and we're like, I don't know what's happening, I got to this point and now I can't lose any more weight.
And most
I'm
of the time
stuck.
when that happens, we get discouraged.
We get discouraged
and
then
we go
stop.
back
Yeah,
to
exactly.
what we were doing
because
before.
we go, oh, this is not working, or we end up, and when we do go back, we gain even more weight,
Mhm.
right? And so now we have another set point because we're going to stay at that higher weight probably for a while because we're already discouraged and we're not going to try to lose weight again for a little while. So then you may up your set point and you're going to stick at that weight for a little while, and it's going to be tougher to get that off, and then you're going to do that same process. So we keep going through it. So the nugget, I would say, is you got to understand, once you're losing weight, don't get caught in the trap of just, well, I'm eating, my body wants me to eat more, or I got to go take those naps, I got to go. No, just keep doing your regular day-to-day things that you're supposed to do. And if you keep going with it, then you'll be good. So that's one of the nuggets, I think. I think that's a good nugget.
So guys, mark it down in your calendars. July the 25th, 12 to 2 p.m. in Raleigh, North Carolina at Authors and Arts Studio. And I gave y'all the wrong address. The address is 3303 Rock Quarry Road. Authors and Arts Studio, 3303 Rock Quarry Road, Suite 103 in Raleigh, North Carolina. And then that afternoon, we're going to be in Durham on Chapel Hill Road.
Yes.
It's a Food Line shopping center, but there's a beautiful little park situated between the buildings, so that's why it's not an official address. It's a park between it's a park between some buildings, but it's a beautiful location. So if you want to be indoors, meet us at Authors and Arts Studio. If you don't want to stay for the event, we have avenues available so you can get your book, get it signed, and then change your life and change your family's life through this book, Breaking My Family's Poor Health Chains, What True Health Is.
I had someone that said that they're going to do a drive-by. She said she's coming to pick up the book. She said, I'm going to do a drive-by. I'm going to just drive by, grab my book, and keep going. I'm like, okay, I'll take that. We'll get a picture with you in the car.
Exactly. We can do that. You can feel comfortable to wear your mask. We're not wearing them today because we can't talk well with them on, and two, we're outdoors, and being outdoors makes all the difference in the world. So we're going to be indoors. If you have health issues, if you can't tolerate being in the sun, at Authors and Arts Studio on Rock Quarry Road on July the 25th from 12 to 2 p.m. And then we're going to be in Durham starting at 5 p.m.
Five to seven.
On Chapel Hill Boulevard at the Food Line. Not at the Food Line.
Beside
the park that's beside the building that the Food Line is in. It's going to be a beautiful venue. We are going to have a beautiful time. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this special edition of In the Garden with Joyful Living with my special guest, Tawanda Wilson, and her book, Breaking My Family's Poor Health Chain, What True Health Is. I don't know about you guys, but I am planning to live well into my hundreds. My family has long life if we are healthy. And I made a decision in my 20s that I wasn't going to have high blood pressure and I wasn't going to be a diabetic. I was able to keep the diabetes at bay, but when I started having major pain issues, I have some issues with blood pressure, but I managed that. But I'm going to use this book. I hope you're going to use it too, because I'm going to use this to change not just the way I eat, but the way I think about eating. So guys, meet us at the book signings. Actually, after we have the book signing, we're going to do a challenge, and I hope you'll join me in the challenge of going through this book and living the life that it talks about, because we have great genes, we have great longevity, but it's time for us to start living a full life. It's time for us to start living and not just existing.
And accepting what they say, oh, that's just what African Americans have, that just happens, that's okay. Like, we got to stop accepting that as truth, and know that we can do other things.
Yeah.
And know that there are things that we can do.
I'll never forget the experience I had. I was having some tingling in my feet, and I went to a doctor, and she immediately wanted to give me a prescription that's for diabetics. And I told her, I'm like, I'm not a diabetic. She's like, well, this will stop it. I was like, no, honey, I want to know what's wrong with me.
Exactly.
I don't want you to just mask the symptom. She didn't like me very well, but I didn't take those pills because I knew I didn't want to, and I wanted to know the root cause and not just mask the symptom.
Sure, exactly, and that's kind of well, you gotta. We'll talk about that on another day, because I will go way too deep into that. But yeah.
So actually, what I want to do is, after we actually have the book signing, is have you back for a podcast. And then we can actually do a series if you would like, and we can do some different podcasts just to help get the information out about your book, get this information out to the community, so that we all can live more joyfully.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all about joyful living.
It's all about the joy, and it's all about the joyful living in the joyful garden.
Yes.
Guys, I just want you to know I will be coming over here and just kind of relaxing, and when the camera goes off, I'll probably keep my feet up and enjoy, because it is gorgeous out here. You guys don't even get to see the other part of this that I'm looking at behind you. It is wonderful.
Thank you so very much.
Welcome.
She's already booked some time in the garden. I live here, but this garden is a community garden, so if you want to spend some time in the garden, let me know. Come out and have a cup of tea. This is a community place, and this is about healing for your spirit and your body. So guys, thank you for watching In the Garden with Joyful Living with my special guest, Tawanda Wilson.
You want to call me Tawanda Gardner?
I do, because that's your name on Facebook.
My name on Facebook is Gardner.
But I got it, because I didn't say it. I didn't say it not once. But okay. With our first-time author, Tawanda Wilson.
Yes.
We're so glad to have you here, and your book, Breaking My Family's Poor Health Chain, What True Health Is.
I appreciate you having me, and thank you guys very much, and I hope to see you soon.
I love you. Bye-bye.